Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. Welcome to Quran for All Seasons. Thank you very much for joining. The goal of this podcast is to promote and provide holistic engagement with the Quran through scholarly and spiritual reflections upon the Quranic text. While grounded in the Muslim commentary tradition, the focus will be upon those aspects of the Quran that address the heart and provide tranquility, solace, guidance, and comfort. For Muslims, the Quran is a book that nourishes the human being through all phases of life. Those who live their entire lives within the fold of Islam hear the Quran recited upon entering this phase of existence, while upon leaving this world, it is often the last thing that a Muslim will hear. The rhythms of our daily lives between the cradle and the grave are then punctuated by the Quran, as are life's major events. The Quran remains applicable in all times, providing lessons that help one confront the challenges of earthly existence and that prepare one for the life to come. It is thus that we call it a book for all seasons. From this perspective, the Quran is as relevant to our lives today as it was to those of the companions of the Prophet and to the lives of many generations past. Nonetheless, the manner in which one can apply the Quran to all aspects of life is often lost in efforts to maintain ideological positions or to proof text, rather than to understand and apply the text of the Quran itself. Quran for All Seasons draws upon the depth and breadth of the Islamic tradition to contemplate the manner in which we can live and apply the Quran here and now. What, for example, does the Quran have to say about love, justice, or death? Or what does it have to say about more tangible issues such as oppression, inequality, or the environmental crisis? Quran for All Seasons will engage such issues and many more. This podcast is not only for Muslims. We often forget that the original audience of the Quran was not Muslim. Many of its verses are addressed to people of other faith traditions. While the Quran provides sustenance for Muslims, it also contains reflections and wisdom traditions for all of humanity. Quran for All Seasons thus engages people from all walks of life, reflecting upon the many ways in which the Quran can be applied to the exigencies of the contemporary human condition. While Quran for All Seasons is not addressed to an academic audience, it engages those aspects of the Quran which address the human intellect. The podcasts therefore draw upon the work of scholars from many backgrounds. It includes historical, philological, theological, philosophical, and spiritual discussions of the Quran that draw from all dimensions of the Islamic intellectual tradition and even beyond. So what will one find in this podcast? The heart of Quran for All Seasons will be an ongoing commentary on the Quran, what some might refer to as a contemplation or tadabbur of the Quranic text. We will begin with reflections upon the most frequently read and recited surahs of the Quran, such as the Fatiha, the short surahs at the end of the Quran, as well as Surat Yasin, Surat al-Mulk, Surat al-Kahf, among others. These commentaries, or reflections upon the Quran, will be complemented by other podcasts that delve into central Quranic teachings and major Quranic themes, with the occasional deep dive into the implications of a particular Quranic verse, or even a particular word. As the podcast develops, we will also devote episodes to dimensions of Quranic studies, such as the history of the Quranic text, the different modes of recitation or qira'at, the concept of abrogation or nasakh, and the contexts of revelation, what is known in Arabic as asbab an-nuzul. In my travels, discussing the Quran with many different audiences, I have witnessed a profound thirst among Muslims and non-Muslims for serious and enriching discussions of the Quran that transcend creedal and ideological divisions. My hope is that Quran for All Seasons will be one of the venues that contributes to and promotes such discussions. I look forward to hearing about your questions and interests and finding ways to address them here and in other venues. Thank you again for listening. وَمَا تَوْفِيقُنَا إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. Our success lies only with God.